WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly,
the longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Because that's what this show's about. That's what we've been doing for over 16 years.
No. It's about sports entertainment.
And now here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Will you stop marking out over there?
Sorry.
Move over, kid. I'm taking your microphone.
You're shallow, you know that?
I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. I don't remember what the hell I do anymore. There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you for a very abbreviated episode, only here with you until 12:30 this afternoon, as we'll be stepping aside for Pennsbury High School football coming your way at the bottom of the hour. I'm en route to the MFPW Arena for a jam-packed show coming up tonight. Tell you a little bit more about that here in this half hour. And a lot to get into. Haven't been on the air since before Backlash. That's right. And even then, quite a bit going on. We'll quickly go over the results of that. Becky Lynch becoming the first SmackDown Women's Champion as she defeated Nikki Bella, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Natalya, and Carmella in an elimination match. Also, speaking of new champions, Heath Slater and Rhino defeating the Usos to win the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Both things that I didn't exactly pick correctly on that, as far as the predictions certain to go wrong. Lucas and I both swung and missed on the Becky Lynch pick, thinking that Nikki Bella would take it. Also, well, Lucas correctly had Heath Slater and Rhino, whereas I decided to go with the Usos, who also, prior to that, obviously, beat the Hype Bros to advance in that tournament final to get a shot in the tournament final against Heath Slater and Rhino. We both had that pick correct. The Miz pinning Dolph Ziggler to retain the Intercontinental title. I had that one right. Lucas, not so much. Kane subbing for an injured Randy Orton as Bray Wyatt slamming a door on Orton's leg prior to the match. There were some rumors prior to the match that Orton wasn't medically cleared, and looks like Wyatt made certain of that. But Kane beating Bray Wyatt in a no-holds-barred match, since we figured that Bray Wyatt would lose. We're both counting that as a win. And AJ Styles pinning Dean Ambrose to win the WWE Championship. Lucas got that one right, me not so much, but we also had the Brucey bonus from the day prior. That's right, Mickey Gall defeating CM Punk. This is the first chance I've had to talk about it in 2 minutes and 14 seconds by tap out at UFC 203. I picked Gall in that one, and Lucas went with his boy Punk. So we both went 4-3 for the respective pay-per-views, including the Brucey bonus, putting me still 4 picks ahead for the year, 50-30 for me, 46-34 for Lucas. And we'll have more predictions certain to go wrong, as Clash of Champions is tomorrow night. So we'll go over the lineup for that coming up on the other side of our one and only timeout. And also some news and notes to get into, a Funkin' Good Health update. Got to be really careful about how I say that. Also some hopping and shopping in Deutschland. Suspensions have elapsed. We'll tell you who may be back on WWE TV soon. Also, get ready to pour a brandy for TNA. And some fandom for your pets. We'll tell you what that's about. And racing and wrestling merging, but no, not for Thurman's Sparky Plug. But first, hopefully those of you who got the chance to head out to George's Cards and Collectibles at the Neshaminy Mall last night got to see Eagles running back Kenyon Barner, and as well as WCW Diva and Macho Man Randy Savage's valet, Gorgeous George. Sure, that was a lot of fun. Looking forward to what George's Cards and Collectibles has coming up next on tap. Looking forward to that over the course of hopefully the next few weeks and months. Although as the winter months head to approach, travel tends to be an issue, so I'm sure that there's plenty of other things to check out at George's Cards and Collectibles. I know I've been there plenty of times as far as their various wrestling memorabilia, as well as other sports memorabilia as well. The 4 major sports, and who knows what else you'll find in there. Only one way to find out, by going to one of their 3 locations. Their original store at 7755 New Falls Road in Levittown, as well as in the Willow Grove Park Mall and in the Neshaminy Mall in the movie theater wing. Get the latest info on George's Cards and Collectibles at their website, georgescollectibles.com, as well as through George's Cards and Collectibles on Facebook. So let's go ahead and get into it. Some of the news over the course of the past couple of weeks. Terry Funk, he spoke with Jim Ross on his Ross Report podcast to dispel health rumors following his brief appearance at last Saturday's House of Hardcore show in South Philadelphia at the old ECW Arena. Funk saying, quote, "I had abdominal hernia surgery just 4 days before I flew to Philly for Dreamer's promotion, and I was supposed to lay low. I felt fine, ignored the doctor's advice, and decided to make the trip and keep my booking. By the time I flew from Amarillo to Philly, and then signed what seemed like 1,000 autographs that day, when the show rolled around, I was completely fatigued. It had been a hell of a long day, and damn it, Ross, I was tired. I had been up 48 hours straight. I asked if I could leave early, and they said that I could, so I went back to the hotel and went to bed. I was dead-ass tired, and I had to get up early and fly back to Amarillo. I'm still alive, and I'm just fine." Great to hear from the 72-year-old legend, Terry Funk. Great to hear that he's doing all right, despite a lot of people having some, there were rumors of heart issues and a bunch of other stuff that was thrown around. That's why I'm not a big fan of throwing the rumors out there, because they tend to get legs the more people talk about them. And what can I say? Rumors in wrestling are like peanut butter and jelly. There's no way of avoiding them, but I try to keep them to a minimum, at least here on this program. In other news, WWE is losing its German television partner once the contract expires in March of 2017, or at least it's set to. Tele5, also known as Tele5 for those of you who don't exactly speak German. I know a little bit, although it's getting a bit rusty. Announced that it will not be renewing its deal to air Raw. WWE, meanwhile, issued a statement about the deal saying, quote, "WWE is near the end of a positive and transparent bidding process for our flagship programs Raw and SmackDown, with strong responses from multiple parties." So no worries, German fans. You'll still be able to get your Raw and SmackDown, it looks like. Just a matter of who the probably highest bidder is going to be. So prost to that for you. Also, this past week marked the completion of WWE wellness policy suspensions for Paige and Ava Marie. That's right, the suspensions of both women went into effect on August 18th. Paige is on the Raw brand and Ava Marie is on the SmackDown Live brand. It would have also marked the end of Alberto Del Rio's suspension, but during the suspension he worked out the terms to his release from WWE. And I'm sure we'll be seeing him popping up somewhere, as I'm sure once the non-compete clause expires, he'll be able to make his presence a lot more felt. Also, Impact Wrestling announcing the signing of Brandi Rhodes to the Knockouts division on Monday. Rhodes previously worked as WWE ring announcer Eden Styles and is the wife of Cody Rhodes. As far as the rest of the news and notes goes, we're going to get to some toying around on the other side of our first time out. But before we get there, it's a frickin' awesome Saturday at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Tapping at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Oh man, do I wish I was there for this one. Carl the Great. It's the Broken Goblet's Russian Imperial Stout, aged in Macallan's Scotch barrels. That's right. And also added to it vanilla bean and cacao nibs. That's right, so little elements of vanilla and chocolate in this Russian Imperial Stout with the Scotch and wood flavor in there as well. Oh, man. I'm getting thirsty just thinking about it. Strong, sweet, dark, and delicious, just like me. And we're just 4 weeks away from Hoppy Halloween 3. That's right, a beer fest that celebrates the best libations available in Bucks County and the surrounding areas. Tickets are already more than half sold out. Get yours today at hoppyhalloweenbeerfest.com. It's Saturday, October 22nd from 5 until 9 p.m. More breweries, more music, more vendors, more surprises, and more porta potties. Over 25 breweries and other libation areas have already been announced, including the Chamonix Creek, Yards, Triumph, Evil Genius, and Weyerbacher, just to name a few. Not a beer drinker? Well, the Colony Meadery and Commonwealth Cider will provide their alternative wares. It's always a good time at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Broken Goblet Brewing, the semi-official brewery of Pro Wrestling Weekly. Couple of programming notes before we head to our first time out. This week, well, I'm live on tape. Next week, I should be live on location at the MFPW Arena. I believe we're on until 12:45, at least we're scheduled to be, but just like the wrestling cards, things are certainly subject to change, especially when it comes to high school sports here on 1490 WBCB. The following Saturday, the 8th, I'll be broadcasting live on location from Darby O'Gill's at 1698 Bristol Pike in Morrisville, PA. More info on that coming next week. And then the following week, the 15th, right back at the MFPW Arena for the second of 3 events in the month of October. Very jam-packed, to say the least. Tell you more about that event coming up on the other side of the timeout. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Come closer. I am the old school light bulb, and I love to suck the energy. It's so delicious, so expensive. $1, $5, $20.
CFLs and LEDs use about 75% less electricity. Replace 6 traditional bulbs and you could save up to $60 a year. Pico. We put our energy into helping you save energy and money. Find more ways to save at pico.com/smartideas or call 888-5-PICO-SAVE.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455.
All commentators heard on WBCB express their own views. Their opinions are not necessarily those of others on WBCB, including the staff and management.
All of your favorite shops are still open while the new Dion Square is under construction. You may have already visited the brand new First National Bank branch or the new Pat Dion Beverages. When all the work is done, the new, beautiful Dion Square will also feature a new Pennsylvania fine wine and spirits shop and a brand new CVS pharmacy. In the meantime, all of the shops are open for business while the new Dion Square takes shape. 518 South Oxford Valley Road in Fairless Hills. Your health is your most precious asset. Tune in to St. Mary Healthline, presented by Gwynedd Mercy University, every Wednesday at 9 a.m. for advice on how to better manage your health. You will hear about important medical issues from the doctors and professionals across all service lines from St. Mary Medical Center. You will have the opportunity to talk or email your questions each week to the experts who can help you live a healthier lifestyle. St. Mary Healthline, presented by Gwynedd Mercy University, every Wednesday at 9 a.m. It's your health. Expect more. Come on out, come on out. Sunday, September 25th at noon for a special edition of Baseball Insiders with Tommy Green and John Brazier. The place to be is Sandy's Beef and Ale. 2028 East Old Lincoln Highway is where to go. Dollar Dogs, Tailgaters, Cubans, and more are on tap at Sandy's Beef and Ale. Sunday, September 25th is the date. Noon is the time. Sandy's Beef and Ale is the place to be. 2028 East Old Lincoln Highway. See you there. Sandy's Beef and Ale, home of the Sandwich and hand-carved roast beef.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, September 24. On this date in 1995, the WWF held its In Your House 3 triple-header pay-per-view. In the main event, Diesel and Shawn Michaels defeated the British Bulldog and Yokozuna to win the WWF Tag Team Championship. Michaels' Intercontinental title and Diesel's WWF Championship were also on the line in the match. On this date in 2000, the WWF held its Unforgiven pay-per-view. In the main event, The Rock defeated Chris Benoit, Kane, and The Undertaker in a fatal four-way match to retain the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 2006, TNA held its No Surrender pay-per-view. In the main event, Samoa Joe pinned Jeff Jarrett in a Fans Revenge Lumberjack match. This has been Today in Wrestling History, September 24. Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you for just another few minutes as we make our way to the bottom of the hour, and Pennsbury High School football coming your way at 12:30. It's all right, gives me a chance to get a little bit more preparation in for the huge event tonight at the MFPW Arena, 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey. Fresh off of his run at the Cruiserweight Classic for WWE, Anthony Bennett taking on TNA star Robbie E. Also from TNA, the Monster Abyss teaming up with Cody Vance to take on the Beast Cartel for the MFPW Tag Team Championship. And speaking of championships, the Supersonic Division weight limit has been lifted, and a new challenger is stepping up to face champion LSG, none other than Ring of Honor star Brutal Bob Evans. Plus, in a battle of former MMA fighters, Matthew Riddle goes one-on-one with former NXT star Josh Woods. Plus, you'll see Mike Orlando, Paid in Full, Major McClendon, and the debut of new stars to the MFPW. It all goes down tonight at the MFPW, presented by the world-famous Monster Factory, 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey. The doors open at 6. The action starts at 7. Plus, check out the MFPW and all things Monster Factory on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, plus at monsterfactory.org, and check out past matches, bios, bloopers, and more at the mfnetwork.com. Plus, coming soon to the MF Network, Monday Night Monsters, where you'll get to hear my alter ego, Fearon Burgundy, call the action. Certainly should be a lot of fun, to say the least. Something else that looks a lot of fun, especially if you've got a canine friend out there, well, WWE fans can now share their passion with their pets as PetMate, the worldwide leader of solutions and excellence in the pet industry, providing fun, trusted, quality products to enhance the lives of pets and their families, announces the launch of its new collection of WWE pet products available at retailers nationwide. The new collection features iconic pet beds, fan-favorite collars and leashes, and assorted rough and tough rubber and plush toys, capturing the excitement of WWE. Now, I went to the PetMate website to take a look at some of the items that are on there. Well, okay, look at all the items on there, as there's not a great variety, but there's some stuff that I have to admit I would probably get my dog Puffin, and she would certainly enjoy. Like some of those plush figures, I'm sure a lot of the internet fans would appreciate if I got a plush Cena doll just so my dog could tear the stuffings out of John Cena. Also, the tug toys. Tugging on a WWE Championship belt or a Money in the Bank briefcase that's attached to a rope because they have the rope toys there. I don't know. I think dog lovers might actually get a kick out of some of this stuff. Plus, they have leashes and collars as well, both of which representing The Rock, Steve Austin, John Cena, and the Divas. And considering how my dog Puffin is definitely a diva, I have a hunch that that's the direction things are going to go. Something tells me that'll be an awesome Christmas present there. So check it out over at PetMate. And if you're more of a racing fan, there we go, something for the little kids there. Playmates Toys, a leader in the action figure category with nearly 50 years of experience in creating innovative products, has partnered with WWE to launch a new line of racing toys that take the action out of the ring called WWE Nitro Sprints and Nitro Machines, not to be confused with Micro Machines, because I can't talk nearly that fast. The collection, featuring popular WWE superstars, is now available exclusively at Toys R Us stores nationwide. So there you go. You can get that ahead of time now, and that's one less thing you've got to worry about getting when the day after Thanksgiving comes around, unless you're one of those Thanksgiving night shoppers, in which, shame on you. At least that's just my personal opinion. We hit the disclaimer, right? Yeah, we're good. Okay.
We've got about 5 minutes left in the show, so just about time for the predictions certain to go wrong for the Clash of Champions pay-per-view, or network special, whatever you want to call it, for WWE. 8 matches on tap for the card. Let's start things off with the kickoff match. Alicia Fox versus Nia Jax. Well, after consulting with Lucas, who I found out is suffering from flu-like symptoms. And no, that doesn't mean what you would think it mean, as a lot of people do say flu-like symptoms. In this case, it's legit. But that notwithstanding, we both agree Nia Jax beating Alicia Fox on this one. Sami Zayn against Chris Jericho. Both accomplished wrestlers. You could pretty much flip a coin for this one, and looks like we did, as I went heads and Lucas went tails. I'm going with Sami Zayn on this one, and Lucas is going with Chris Jericho. We'll see which of the two of us is a stupid idiot on that one. Also, TJ Perkins defending the newly won WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Yeah, words you haven't heard in a while there, right? Cruiserweight Championship and WWE together. You'd have to go back 9 years to 2007 when the previous incarnation was retired. You remember who that last Cruiserweight champion was? Yeah, that's right, Hornswoggle. And it was retired due to his diminutive stature possibly jeopardizing his well-being, although he was well underneath the then 225-pound weight limit. And I'm sure somewhere Bill Redner, our sales rep, is smiling because I'm mentioning one of his favorite type of wrestlers, those of the aforementioned diminutive stature. Have I kept it politically correct? I know he wouldn't, but that's a whole nother story as well. Anyway, the Cruiserweight Championship, now held by TJ Perkins. He's going to be taking on Brian Kendrick, who in the inaugural Cruiserweight Classic tournament to determine the championship made it to the quarterfinal round, but losing to Kota Ibushi, who would then go on to lose to Perkins in the semifinals. But Brian Kendrick, an accomplished wrestler to say the least, but I think having the inaugural champion only hold the title for 10 days wouldn't exactly be the best idea, so I'm thinking that Perkins retains here, as does Lucas. Moving on to match 7 of the best of 7 series. The closest thing you'll get to the wrestling equivalent of a Game 7 for you World Series fans or hockey heads as well who love their Stanley Cup best of 7 series, or even those who like the NBA as well. Not exactly my cup of tea, but I'm a fan of the Sixers, just not as much as some of the other teams. Anyway, best of 7 series, match number 7. I'm going with Sheamus. It almost feels like another coin flip here, and that's probably because they're so evenly matched. And Lucas is going with Cesaro on that one, so our second of 3 differences in our opinions. We've also got the New Day defending the tag titles against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. New Day with an impressive run as tag team champions, closing in on 400 days. That's a little over a year as WWE tag team champions. They'd have to hold on until mid-December to eclipse the record held by Demolition back in the late 80s of 478 days. In fact, it'd be the Tuesday before the Roadblock pay-per-view on December 18th. Will they get there? Well, if they do, at least as far as our picks are concerned, then they'll have to do so by some form of count-out or disqualification, as both Lucas and myself feel like the club are going to take this one. The women's title, Charlotte taking on Sasha Banks and Bayley. We both think that Charlotte retains on that one. And Rusev against Roman Reigns for the U.S. title. I'm thinking Rusev holds on, and Lucas is looking for Roman to have a title win there. And finally, the main event, the Universal Championship, Kevin Owens against Seth Rollins. And we're both going with Owens to retain on this one. Got about a minute or so left, so that means it's just enough time for, yeah, you guessed it, birthdays. Got a couple of them here for you, and of course the Brucey bonus as well. Well, on this date in 1976, Stephanie Marie McMahon Levesque was born. Yeah, that's pretty much a giveaway, isn't it? The former WWF Women's Champion and, of course, Chief Brand Officer of WWE and daughter to WWE owner Vince McMahon turns the big 4-0 today. How's about that? And on this date in 1978, Christopher John Nowinski was born. The former 2-time WWE Hardcore Champion, the Tough Enough finalist from the original season of Tough Enough, plus the most notable WWE Harvard graduate, and by most notable I mean the only one, and co-founder of the Concussion Legacy Foundation, turns 38 today. That's right, Chris Nowinski has been very active and involved with concussion research in professional sports, especially considering that his career ended rather early, at least as far as an in-ring wrestling career, due in part to concussions. And finally, the Brucey bonus. That's right, something that usually is outside the scope of wrestling, or if it is in the scope, it's very, very narrow, or very barely outside of that scope, I should say. In this case, in 1965, on this date, Robert Irvine was born. You're probably thinking, who's that? No relation to Chris Jericho here. The English celebrity chef and husband to WWE and TNA star Gail Kim turns 51 today. So let that be some food for thought. Anyway, that's going to just about do it for me. I want to thank Ted Efaw for pushing the buttons and turning the dials to keep us on in there. And I'm going to step aside now as the play-by-play voice of the Pennsbury Falcons, Vince Reed, and the philosopher Chris Ermer bring you the action from Council Rock North High School, Pennsbury and Council Rock North, coming your way here on 1490